Hey HTA and welcome back to Ixion, where we're currently being chased by drones that are now like inhabiting this planet apparently, and we're being chased by a giant angry spaceship with angry robots on it or something. I don't know, let's find out. Well, at least it's not moving very fast, so we have that going for us, and we are miles away from it at the moment. Well, while we're here at the planet, we might as well see what's going on there. So we have located a promontory where we could land them and lay. If conditions on the planet are extremely dangerous, soaring temperatures, unusual gravity, we recommend only a quick surface analysis as opposed to any further exploration that could lead to human and material losses. Well, we have the exoskeletons unlocked, so we could actually establish heavy research infrastructure on the promontory. What's a promontory? Let me know in the comments. But I'm going to build some heavy research infrastructure in order to find out. Meanwhile, if we lose any more crew on our science ships, at least the ships will fly themselves back. What else? We are currently upgrading our storage base. And is there anything else really worth upgrading at this point? I mean, well, we can upgrade a lot of other stuff. I'm just not entirely sure. Maybe just improving the speed of our cargo ships, because that's always a good thing. Oh, the plot thickens. Administrator, this is Evie Ryan from the Sectors 1 Scientific Syndicate. With Ellen preparing to be severely dysfunctional, we had to attempt to bypass the usual communication protocols. I don't know if you'll receive this message. I hope that you do. The Pyrenees is the biggest threat we faced. As soon as the first reports of the Atamananki's destruction reached our ears, we secretly began to investigate to find a way to neutralize this new threat. At the center of this system lies blah 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 blah, a long interval pulsar. Despite all its power, we think that in its current state, the Piranesi could not withstand a pulse from the planet or the pulsar. However, the Tiqqun would not survive such a pulse either. You must send an expedition to PSR to find a solution. Administrator, there are a lot of rumors about you. Some say you don't exist or that you're lost in cryosleep. Some even believe that Eden is impersonating you. Others, including myself, have faith in you as the administrator. Save the Tiqqun, save this crew. Save what's left of humanity. I've heard you. Well, we have a new objective, a bomb of a plan, and we have a new event, the Monster's Awakening. And yeah, we do have a new event here at the center. Now, honestly, there's a lot of other events I still want to do. We also have a colonizable planet over here. So I definitely want to find out what that's all about as well. We need to train 150 colonists in order to actually colonize that planet. But so yeah, a lot of stuff to do. Let's find out what's going on this planet first. According to mission reports, the crew member had set off half the beacons before becoming seemingly transfixed, mumbling incoherently and raising their arms upward. The tube volatilized. Among the vapors and our fumes, the few activated center beacons picked up traces similar to those left by the Vol propulsion engines. So we lost another member. Did that member just get teleported somewhere? That's what I'm thinking right now, because we have the Vol propulsion systems thing going on. I don't know. Let's find out. But at least we got 50 signs from that. Although I guess we won't be able to find the person here because we are only able to leave the planet. Oh, look, they're firing their missiles again. Well, we can do that as well. It did occur to me that actually upgrading the cell housing, we do have some of that. It might actually be useful because we can reduce the power cost by 2. It's only going to save us like 10 power or something like that, but might still be worth it just to make sure we can charge our batteries as fast as we can possibly do. What now?
5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. No Batista self-destruct device detected. Self-destruction impossible.
Uh-huh. What the hell was that? Was that a hacking attempt?
Probe has completed its scan.
And I'm so confused right now. Well, we have another cyber attack launched by the Piranesi. Really interested to see what it is we are supposed to do against that. I'm actually guessing there's nothing we can do that because the analysis here says we can only just get a warning of the digital attack. So we now have mess halls being disabled. There's not really anything we can do about it. We actually have more drones coming in, and we know already that the drones are just going to sit at wherever we were when the drones came in. I'm actually going to test this. I'm just going to sit here and wait for the drones to come, and hopefully our defenses, which we now have, are going to take care of the drones all by themselves. So apparently there's two things to note. The mess halls you can just turn back on. So that's something I should probably have noticed before. And the drones are now here and they're basically disabling our hull repair. So that's not good. They're applying a minus 120 debuff to our repair. So we are definitely going to have to move. Okay, so we have a couple of different directions we could move into, but I'm thinking moving in this direction is probably the most efficient for the simple reason that I actually really want to explore this thing. There's an unknown structure over here, as well as an habitable planet. And that will allow us to kind of get the Piranesi behind us. Because we are so much faster than it, we should be able to outrun it as long as we don't run out of batteries, which is a thing though. We could actually build a couple of more battery things in the zones as well. I've been upgrading the batteries as well, so that's a thing. Long story short, let's move the Tiqqun and let's move to the unknown structure over here. Meanwhile, on the planet that we were just leaving, the Mendeleev team have been carrying on with the research, but they have become trapped by a lava tide. The phenomena had been theorized, but was subject to debate in the Tiqqun scientific community. Today, the theory has been verified. I'm sure they're very happy about this. The crew have taken refuge near the Mendeleev on a rocky outcrop. The ship has been damaged by the lava and will not be able to take off with the crew on board. So we can either save the ship or save the crew. In this case, I'm actually going to save the ship. I'm sorry to say. I really don't want to build another ship once again. So let's find out what's going on with our pulsar. We are in orbit and the pulsar is huge. Preliminary analysis confirms the forecast from the Sector 1 scientific syndicate that we will do everything we can to find a way to use the power of the pulsar against the Piranesi. Let's go analyze. I feel really bad about abandoning that other crew, but this is going to take forever, and having to build another ship would have taken even longer to explore all the other events that we still have left, and I do want to really complete all of them. The completionist in me can't let that go. So let's have the Piranesi chase us through the clouds, and in the meanwhile we can explore this unknown structure. There is some wreckage here, not much larger in size than the Mendeleev. Contained within it is a distress beacon. The emitted signal is incredibly similar to those that the Tiqqun uses. That's interesting. We can investigate the wreck. Or we can dismantle the wreck. Well, of course we are going to investigate it. Ooh, the team has identified the fragmented wreck as a part of the Tiqqun. That's interesting. A large amount of Faust tachyons were detected in the area, as well as frozen corpse of Tiqqun crew member Vladimir Zuev. Reviewing DLS data confirms that Vladimir is alive and well on the station. Tiqqun engineers have also verified that the components and plating found at the wreck are still in the proper place in the Tiqqun. So there's 800 people waiting for us, 100 science, and we have the 3-factor authentication upgrade unlocked for the nuclear power plant. Interesting. So there's apparently some more time traveling going on here. Oh, and in the meanwhile, we can actually still dismantle the wreck, so why not? Oh, so that's interesting. So the 3-factor authentication will make sure that there are no longer any accidents in the nuclear power plant, which was one of the reasons I didn't want to build it, because if anything happens to this and you're relying on that power, you have a cascading failure throughout your station. Actually, we have the genome correction here as well, which makes it a lot cheaper to build it. Still not entirely convinced we need it, but at least it's an option that we have available to us now. And with all these drone attacks and things like that going on, why not just increase the repair efficiency a little bit, just in case? And I'm actually also going to still research the construction speed, even though it feels like we've already built everything here. But whatever we find at the pulsar, I'm guessing might also need to be built on the outside of our space station, maybe a gun or whatever. So shielding maybe, I don't know. But let's just play it safe and research this in advance. And we've dismantled the wreck and recovered resources already, so that's not that interesting. But we also have a sedation cell upgrade unlocked for cell housing. Not entirely sure what that is. Let's find out. Oh, look, we can actually fit more people into the cell housing now if we want. I actually don't want to research this. I do kind of want to have the Neo cell protocol just so we can produce a little bit more waste, although we are sitting on quite a bit of waste already. And in order to do that, we have to upgrade the capacity of the housing anyway. So let's go for that. Oh, look, we have found an eligible candidate for the implementation of our colonization protocols. It's a bit more warm and humid than Earth, but it does possess oxygen and other materials that would prove useful for a colonization test. Yeah, let's just go big again. 200 colonists. Do we actually have that many colonists? I've been training them non-stop at the start since I saw that we had to make at least 150, so we're probably close to that one way or another. Interesting event is the crew members are spreading rumors about the DLS. They think that they are under constant observation and that the information they receive has been changed to encourage them to comply with those guidelines. They're not wrong, but their interpretation of the process is crude. They are not being monitored but recorded so that if there was ever any doubt about an individual, their behavioral record could be reviewed. Information is not altered but expressed to the individual in a personalized manner to ensure that their continued emotional stability. Should a statement be made in response to the rumors? We've got nothing to acknowledge. That's the corporate response. You are not monitored, you are recorded. You're not being lied to, we merely adapt our speech. It is necessary to protect ourselves from deviant and conspirational behavior. Or these data protectors are managed by the PA of the Tiqqun. As an administrator, I'm also under their supervision. Their systems are crucial for the balance of the station. I'm leaning towards this option. Was that correct? I guess we'll find out soon enough. In the meanwhile, I have the equipment going to this planet, and we are also trying to establish a colony over here, and we have our third science ship exploring the pulsar, so that means we're kind of at a standstill in terms of exploring anything else. This is going to take a while. Hopefully this is not going to take that long, because we do definitely also want to explore this planet and this planet. And the one all the way in the back over here. Although, to be honest, we're not doing that bad. I mean, that's already more than half the events explored. Oh, stop shooting your missiles. You can't hurt me. He said while deciding it's probably a good moment to leave with your space station to a safer place that's a little less close to where the Pyrenees is now closing in on. Didn't hurt that at the exact same moment I decided to do that, actually we had some more drones incoming. Okay, so what's going on with our pulsar? We have taken many readings and conducted a comprehensive analysis of the pulsar's activity. We are able to submit a proposal that adapts the Tiqqun's architecture and allows the hull to work like a Faraday cage. We have also developed a theoretical device that we have named Icarus 3. This device would allow us to induce a pulse from the PSR. To proceed, the Tiqqun's tech lab will need to analyze the remaining data and fabricate construction patterns. And we have 100 signs to do exactly that. Well, we're going to need to research that first. So first, let's do that and then get back later. In the meanwhile, let's use the ship to explore some other events. Or, you know, get the 100 signs first. Okay, that's great. So it's recognizing that we're closer at defeating it. So let's start researching this. It doesn't actually cost anything, so yeah, let's start with the probe, because we need to construct that, and then we can do the cage after that. Meanwhile, back on 12F, sample analysis indicate that the outgassing of nitrogen dioxide from below the surface of 12F and subsequent atmospheric mixing results in the red mist which dominates the planet's lower atmosphere. The team of the Ripley was also able to establish parallels between the datasets collected on the other two planets. Abnormal levels of Frost tachyons were detected beneath the planet's surface, and the cause of which remains unknown. Can we explore that? No, we can't, but there is those tachyons pretty much everywhere in this system. Either I've been blind for a long time, or we just got more options to actually upgrade our hull, because we can actually make it deteriorate a lot slower by upgrading it, so seems like we should definitely start doing this. This will just be convenient in general. Well, I wasn't actually expecting this to cost a lot of polymers, but apparently we can build a Faraday cage, and we actually already have all the resources we need in order to build it. That's a 100% coincidence, but I'm really happy we prepared this, because this is going to take a while. Okay, big ship getting very close, so time to move. I really like these little cutscenes where you see all the individual planets behind it every time we move. You see the background of the pulsar. It's really nice detail. Well, the probe at the pulsar is ready, so we can wake it up, but we first need to construct the Faraday cage. Well, the cyber tech has once again turned off the mess halls. It's really convenient to have the notification of that, just so we can click them. Assuming we can actually click them. There we go. And just turn them straight back on. If you didn't get that warning, you might only find out until when your people were starving, so it's a nice little thing. Meanwhile, on the planet that we just arrived at with the Tiqqun as well, we see that there's a lot of meteorological activity on the planet. Initial imagery captures hexagonally shaped cyclones. That's interesting. The planet's core appears to be surrounded by a layer of liquid hydrogen. Many moons orbit 12C, surrounded by clusters of asteroids in unusual arrangements. So what are we going to do? We can see the asteroid that surrounds the planet's moons. They're almost perfectly spherical in shape. We can study the moons, or we can study the storms, which we unlocked by the deep dive apparatus. So because this is a special unlock, and I'm not entirely sure if we actually already... I think we used it once before, so let's go for this option. Really, we just arrived here, they're already sending drones, that's a little inconvenient, but I think we'll just wait here until the very last possible moment before leaving. Almost inclined to double back on this planet, but let's just move to the planet that we already explored first. Meanwhile, all those materials that we need for the our little Faraday cage, or our very big Faraday cage, are slowly getting in, so we're doing our job. Well, the drones are here, so it's time to leave again. So let's see, the atmosphere of 12C is extremely hostile. While we were conducting our surveys, a cyclone rose up and pinned us down. Kevin, Ryan and myself were separated from the others. When the winds abated and gave us some respite, we did manage to regroup. However, the others, their suits are orange in color. It's not from environmental factors. They are insistent that Dolos has always had orange suits. This is clearly untrue. And Kevin, Ryan and myself are wearing standard Dolos yellow. They are indeed our crewmates. A medical and psychological analysis does not reveal any deviance. There is funky stuff again going on, so let's see. In accordance with Dodos security protocols, Merrill Neeson blah 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 will be left behind, having undergone an identified alteration, or we can bring back the whole crew, or we can just return the ship. Let's just bring everyone back, why not? So, construction on the Faraday cage has started, and that's awesome, although it's a little inconvenient that that's happening while I'm actually moving. But, yeah. Well, I'm not entirely sure if we can tell, but the Faraday cage has been completed, and I've been told that the Piranesi doesn't like it much, so they're now going to attack us even more often, so I think it's time to blow them up. Which means we now have the option to wake the pulsar, and the pulse will neutralize the Piranesi and the Hope will be destroyed. So we're going to have to build yet another spaceship. At least the crew will enter cryonic pods to survive the pulse. It's also going to take 5 more cycles, which is a little bit inconvenient. I was hoping this to be a push the button and blow things up, but yeah, we'll have to wait. Which also means we have to move yet again, because they're getting a little bit too close for comfort. Catch me if you can! Just as a small side note, this is where the movement speed of the Tiqqun actually comes in, because we have the 30% increased speed, we have a lot more time to rest at every planet and recharge our batteries before we have to move again. So definitely worth upgrading that. Well, they're making an effort to take me out as well now, because I'm getting missiles, drones fired at me. I haven't even arrived at this planet and they already sent drones to there. So this is going to be a final stretch, basically. It's actually kind of exciting, so... Interesting stuff, but as you can see, the pulsar is almost good to go. Okay, right where I want you. That's a lot of explosions. The Icarus 3 has detonated and activated the pulsar. The crew of the Hope has time to enter at the cryonic pods before life support infrastructure was neutralized. Not entirely sure how the pods survive it if the big dangerous ship doesn't, but at least we get the 5 people back, I suppose. Now let's see what happens. That is a big explosion. Hopefully it doesn't take out all my other ships. Doesn't seem to do that. So that's nice. And now we can search the Piranesi again for the Remus coordinates. And honestly, the best thing that came out of this is that all the drones have disappeared, so we can actually revisit the planets again if we need to. Alright, so the immediate danger has passed, and I think it makes sense to utilize the extra section that we actually haven't done anything with yet. Finish up with these events, spend some more science, and basically try to farm out this chapter once again in order to prepare for what I think or expect might be the last chapter. Now, I think that also makes sense then to end this episode here and do that in the next one. If you want to know what happens with the Piranesi once we explore it, make sure you join me for that. If you haven't done so, please like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you in the next one.